Yeah.
Would you like one? That's really cool, actually. Oh, I guess it's going this way. It's up on our website. Pass these back. Karen, take one when I move. I don't want to be in the pictures. I do, but I don't know your name. Hi, Susan. I know faces, but that's it. Deb walked up to me in a gift shop, and I'm like, I know. Yeah.
I don't know if I help you right out the door, but
I'm sorry.
and then I'm going to have you guys.
I forgot. I got a second job besides taking care of Janet.
Yeah. You've already buckled. Anybody else that wants to say a few words? We'll do the big schlemiel tonight at the banquet. You're welcome to say a few words.
We need a couple more back here. Alright, Janet's phone. Alright, this is for Janet. I'm sorry. Janet should be sitting in the middle. Get in there, bud. Oh, I'm so sorry. You should get it.
That's right. Yes.
You know what? Over here, we take pictures because they're going to getting privacy. I'm proud. We've done it a little bit.
Howdy, everybody.
Howdy.
Oh, come on, you can do better than that.
Howdy.
That's more like a Dodge City howdy. Well, we're going to try and get started here. This won't take a long time, so don't have to worry if you're standing. If you are ailing and need a seat, there's a couple of chairs left over here you can sit in, and we'll get started. Just to give you a little background, this all started about 3 or 4 years ago when we decided that if the CBS people who own Gunsmoke weren't going to honor James Arness with a statue, then we would do it for them. Some of you may know there are statues in one in Minneapolis, St. Paul for Mary Tyler Moore. There's one in North Carolina, I believe, for Andy Griffith. There's another one someplace, I think maybe Chicago, for Henry Winkler. Anyway, there are several of those all scattered all around the country, and we tried to get them to do something for James Arness and Gunsmoke, the longest running show on television. Not only would they not do a statue, but we also found out that they weren't going to put them in for the Hall of Fame. Is it the Western the Television Hall of Fame? They got a lot of shows in there that never made it as far as Gunsmoke did and weren't nearly as famous, but they still haven't put it in. So I want to encourage every one of you to get on the internet, go to cbs.com, find an email address there, and send them an email saying, why in the heck is Gunsmoke not in the Hall of Fame? Okay? Please do that, because it's time it was honored. When we started this, our little organization, the Dodge City Trail of Fame, decided that we would ramrod the thing through. It meant that we had to raise a pretty good parcel of money. The city fathers here in Dodge were very helpful, and several other organizations as well, and a couple of them I need to mention for you. One of them is our Community Facilities Advisory Board, who granted us money. The Mariah Fund granted us money. The Community Foundation of Southwest Kansas granted us money. And all of those, plus money that we were able to raise through the sale of the miniatures, the maquettes, that's what made this happen. And we only just barely got it done. We could still use a little money because we went in the hole to do this. So if you're interested in a maquette, we have two available. We have them available in bronze and in a cold cast bronze resin, which looks exactly like bronze, but it's not as heavy and it's not as expensive. Inside in the visitor center, before you leave, stop and we'll get you a brochure on it. So if you decide you want to order one, you can. Okay? And at this point, we are really happy to have with us Mrs. Janet Arness. Raise your hand, Janet. And we have a couple of other luminaries too. Mr. Ben Bates is here. For those of you who don't know, Ben Bates was one of the earliest PRCA cowboys. He still holds records. Ben Bates also, what's the other luminaries, Ben?
He doubled Jim Arness.
Yeah, it was a stunt double for James Arness. So all those tumbles you saw James Arness take from a horse, it was Ben. And let's see, we got some others. Jimmy, raise your hand, Jimmy. Jimmy Surtees is Janet's son. He's sort of a stepson for Jim. Would you call yourself that?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
He raised me pretty much.
And we also have Buck Taylor here. And I don't want to go on for a whole lot longer. I do want a couple of these people to say a few words, but the first thing we're going to do is we're going to unveil James Arness as Matt.
All right.
one more person that you need to know, because you can see what a marvelous resemblance this is to James Arness. The artist who did this is also here with us, all the way from Florida, Tony Cipriano. Tony, stand up. Please, Doc.
I'd like to say something. I can't imagine how she feels right now looking at her husband there drawing. My wildest imagination, I can't imagine that. I love it. How many times have you all seen Matt Dillon at the beginning of that show standing there? If any of you all got bad intentions on coming into Dodge City, well, y'all better turn around and go back. Gunsmoke, good guys won, bad guys lost. And I don't want to talk about Gunsmoke right now. I want to talk about James Arness, soldier, war hero. January 22nd, 1944, the Allied forces were getting ready to invade Italy, and the 3rd Infantry Division was already on their landing crafts, going on into a beach called Anzio, which was later to be known as the Battle of Anzio, and it was a tough one. A 20-year-old soldier there named Jim Arness, he volunteered. He said, "Listen, I'm 6'7", and I'm going to get off this landing craft first, just to see how deep the water is." It was a horrendous battle. The Germans were well fortified, a lot of casualties. It was something else. We fought hard, we won. Woo. You know, something that gets in the mind each time I think about it. The first time that Goldie and I, my wife, went over to visit Jim and Janet at their home, you walk through the door, and there it is, Bronze Star. Bravery under fire.
Yeah. Amen.
And
All
right
right.
next to it, Purple Heart. Wounded in action. I'll tell you what, he was such a patriot, and I know I shared his feelings because I got it from him. I worked with him for 8 years. A little bit rubbed off on us. But the love of our military and our soldiers today, our men and women that are fighting overseas to keep us free, to keep our freedom, so that you all want to go to the rodeo, you go to the rodeo, you want to
That's
watch
right.
Gunsmoke. Hell, it's on 2 or 3 times a day. But I ask you to keep our military in your prayers,
Amen.
and God bless them.
Amen.
Now I'd like to introduce the love of his life and the love of a lot of us. This is your wife, Janet.